Good morning, students. In our last class, we have seen that how socialism came to Europe. Now, in my last class, I told you the ideas of socialism by different socialist thinkers. One person called Robert Owens, he gave the idea of cooperative society. The other scholar, the other person named Louis Blanc, he suggested cooperative must be encouraged by the government. And the other person, Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. These were the scholars who gave the idea of modern socialism, which was known as scientific socialism. And he supported or he advocated the worker society, eradication of capitalist, a perfect communist society, etc. This we have seen. Now, these ideas were spread like jungle fire, slowly, but later on, jungle fire throughout the Europe. And I am telling you, students, these ideas were now started deep root in different countries of Europe. These ideas were highly appreciated by the people of different countries. So today we are going to start the topic support for socialism. That is important. What we are going to learn in this topic, support for socialism, we'll see that by 1870s socialist ideas spread through Europe. I told you, it started slowly first, but later on the idea of socialism spread like jungle fire. Yes. And to coordinate the effort of the socialists, they formed an international body called as Second International. This was the international body whose main function was to coordinate the socialism in different parts of the world, in different parts of the Europe, in different parts of the globe, in different countries throughout the globe. That is what the Second International. The workers in England and Germany began forming associations to fight for better living and working condition. That was important. They set up funds to help members in times of distress and demanded a reduction of working hours and right to vote. These are the demand of equality among all the people. Socialist society depends on equality, rights for all. So this was a glimpse of socialist society in different countries. And I have given you just the example of England. In Germany, these associations worked closely with the Social Democratic Party and helped it to win parliamentary seats. Fine. They didn't get the majority, but they started winning the parliamentary seats. That was very much important. This shows that how politically people also accepted and adopted socialism. And most importantly, by 1905, socialists and trade unionists formed a Labour Party in Britain and a Socialist Party in France. Now you can easily understand, students, the formation of Labour Party in England and Socialist Party in France shows us that there was a permanently, formation of socialist parties in these countries. Why I am telling in these countries, basically England and France, because these countries are basically capitalist by nature. But even in these countries, the Socialist Party got their existence and even they started winning several parliamentary seats. However, till 1904, socialists never succeeded in forming a government in Europe. That was important. Representing by strong figure in parliamentary policy, their ideas did shape legislation, but governments continued to be run by the conservative radicals and liberals. But okay, fine, by 1914 it was not able to form, but things changed, and by 1917 a completely new thing happened for the first time in the world politics. What was the new thing? That is what we are going to discuss. We'll continue with this.